Hi Gaurav.
Hi
Welcome
Manoj,
to
how are you?
Payment Insights 2015.
Thank you very much,
Good to
Manoj.
see you again.
Pleasure's mine.
So Gaurav, we're doing a simple understanding. A lot of innovations are happening in payment space, right? Among all these innovations, what is it that excites you the most from the India perspective and from the global perspective? Because a lot of Indians are doing business and working and traveling all
Sure,
over the world.
sure,
So Indian customer and Indian global customer, what excites you personally?
sure. I think, like you had rightly said, there are a lot of innovations happening around the world. But I would say I would choose an innovation from India and globally which has had impact and relevance
Right?
in that rather than saying innovation for the sake of innovation.
Good.
So I would say that in India, the IMPS is a tremendous innovation and it's a great way of providing immediate final payments, and what do you call the Tatkal payment. Because when they started the IMPS, it was supposed to have mobile number, MMID, and people didn't know MMIDs. People kind of did not get that experience which was envisaged. But when they kind of started using IMPS under the NFS, what do you call NEFT rules, that means you have IFSC code and account number, but internally it will use the mobile channel and it will be within 3 to 4 seconds you will get the confirmation.
Right.
So to give you an example, there is a friend of mine who's in India now, but he had a credit card to be paid in Singapore. So he thought I was in Singapore. So he called me yesterday night कि भैया मेरा credit card pay कर दो, I'll pay you from my account here, either in India or I will transfer. 2-4 दिन लगेगा, but मुझे अभी तुरंत चाहिए वो. मैंने कहा भाई I am in Singapore, I'm not in Singapore, I'm in India, but I have an account, I'll pay it for you. I paid for him. It will take 1 day to credit. So that is Singapore, an advanced country. Then I said, he said, what do you want for this? I said, you pay me in Indian rupees, it's a small amount. And he used IMPS. All I had to give him my account number. And he Googled the ICICI Bank Waterfield Road IFSC code. And within 3 seconds, I had money. So now I got money before he got money in Singapore, even though it's a mature market in a developed country.
You have float now.
So I have float of 1 day. So I believe this has enabled for all the bank account holders to pay the other person. The other person could be another P2P. It could be a merchant. It could be any other tax authority. I'm saying today when you have the tax number and you have to have it as challan from a bank and then you have to submit the challan to the tax office. Why can't the tax office publish their own account number and IFSC code like a MMID phone number, and we'll just continue to pay IMPS to that. So the fact that people used to say, boss, when you pay me, I will realize payment, then I will ship the goods. Now the goods, even before you order them to be shipped, you will get payment because it's so fast. So it's an efficiency which is a frugal innovation also. Most other countries are spending billions of dollars to make this Tatkal payment. In Australia, the RFP was out, which Swift has won. I think the total cost is about 200 million US dollars to build this kind of faster payment between 4 banks. They have only 4 banks, so 4 banks, $200 million, 50 million per bank. In India, we have just overlaid the same NEFT, NFS infrastructure, which they have interbank clearing, and they have put a IMPS with a mobile identifier for Tatkal payment. So I believe it's a tremendous masterstroke of NPCI, RBI, the banking body, and media like you who have promoted this. You put a 4-page NPCI supplement in your banking frontier, which I read very regularly, which gives us a good idea what NPCI is doing. So I think that's a great thing. And I think globally, I would say Apple Pay is a very big innovation. Okay. What is Apple Pay? Any Apple iPhone beyond iPhone 6 or 6 Plus, which has a biometric reader for sensor, you can request your bank to give you the NFC credentials from the bank through what you call the token request model. That means I will ask Apple saying that I want to put my Bank of America card into the Apple Pay. So they will request Bank of America through Visa Master and say, give me a token. So they have a tokenization service. Once the token is in your Apple Pay passbook account, whenever your phone is near a NFC reader, it will automatically wake up the passbook and says, tell me which card to pay, card 1 or card 2. If you just say nothing, then default card is done. So I was part of this M-Check experience, which was in India, which was also trying to do this kind of thing using the SIM card on the phone. So people would call the bank saying that please issue me a card. They will say, okay, we're going to request the backend to produce the card. Then it will be sent to Airtel, the telco. Then telco will send you a message. Then you have to save the setting and somehow something will happen. And most times you are in a no network area, you never get the SMS or something. So the whole provisioning part, the requesting of the credentials and the provisioning used to take 2-3 days and few failed attempts. But with Apple Pay, what happens is that you can self request the credentials. If your card is in the iTunes account, it gets immediately provisioned as a token. Or else you can take a picture of your card and it will read the card number, it will know which is the issuing bin, and it will go to Visa or Master and request the token, and immediately gives you a secure credential. Okay. It is inside the secure element through a cryptography. So when people say mobile payment is not safe, like Mr. Burman, Dr. Burman was saying, people are afraid that mobile has to be safe. This is biometric, and this is a EMV crypto chip. So you get the full security of a bank grade solution, so it's not anything which can be penetrated. So one thing is you have 700 or 800 million iPhone customers with cards there, all of them can get NFC if they have an Apple phone. So you don't have to recard or give $4, $5 expenses. So now any bank who wants to have NFC doesn't have to work with the traditional card suppliers to issue cards. Through the Apple capability, they can just give anybody NFC credentials and it will work on the same NFC reader, which was used for cards. So you don't have to have a proprietary infrastructure. So the Apple innovation is a master stroke because it's a collaborative and building a seamless experience on top of existing technologies. They did not reinvent a technology to make a proprietary.
Tied up with Visa,
with Visa, MasterCard. Through that, all the banks know this protocol and they just participate. So this is again a great thing of getting a project or a program up to scale very quickly, because everybody is saying payment business is small margin but scale. Yeah. So they said, boss, 800 million customers in one master stroke, and just partnering with Visa Master on this tokenization service. And Apple Pay will eventually come here also. Like I said, today the handset is expensive, 60,000 rupees. So that's why it's not come to India, but we have the population of people. Yes. So even if 10% of the all phones which are smartphones are 300,000, if 30,000 300 million. So even if 30 million, 10% or even 1%, 3 million, it could be a case for Apple coming here with Apple
Any idea what percentage of phones in India are NFC ready?
I would say it is only the high-end phones, which is the Apple 6, iPhone 6 and Plus, and the Samsung Galaxy S4 or S5. So you can just see, maybe it would be million or couple of million. It's not many, but still there are not a million NFC credit cards. So even if these phones became cards, so you have a business case of putting a terminal, because today you are saying I can't put terminal because they're not one of cards, so chicken and egg. So if one part of the egg is solved by NFC phones along with physical plastic, you have a faster realization of revenue from the terminals you deploy. And like I said, in India now there is an EMV mandate, so all the terminals are EMV. So you just have to put an extra dongle, which is about $50 to have the tap and pay. And then you just have a card, because most people are recarding into EMV. And now the difference between EMV card and the contactless card is like 5-10 cents. It's not huge. Even though there is an extra antenna, but because of the demand and supply volume, it has come down so drastically. So I believe Apple Pay could hit our shores maybe in 12 to 18 months, which is quite recent, and maybe even Samsung Pay will come even before that, again on the phone. So I believe IMPS for India and Apple Pay for the global markets are two important innovations.
And instantaneousness is
so
the defining characteristic.
So one is immediacy and the other one is quick provisioning, which is also immediacy. So you can start, I can request now and I can start paying in this restaurant itself, on this hotel itself.
Wonderful. Thank you for
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you.